Okay, hello, welcome to the weather update at 7 p.m. December 24th, Christmas Eve, and we've got to deal with this low-level jet tropical system, tropical air coming into the area ahead of a strong cold front, and this is going to cause strong to damaging winds and heavy rain. So we're going to see the damaging winds tonight to Friday morning. This is just a little briefing from the Weather Service here. Let's look at the radar here. This is what is heading our way, and you can see all that heavy rain that's off to the west, and the low pressure system that actually went into Canada, but another one is formed right over here in this spot right here over looks like West Virginia, and it's moving up to up the Appalachians. So we're in the warm air, we're in the warm sector, and we're dealing with a lot of this heavy rain across the area, and it's going to get worse. Excuse me. So it's going to get a lot worse, and we'll just pause that radar at a moment when it gets. It's very annoying that we don't have the Weather Service has really messed up the radar on their site, and it's almost impossible to use. So I can't even use it. It's horrible. I wish they would just go back to the old one. So this is what we have heading our way. So you see some heavy rain over there in Pennsylvania. It looks like it's pouring in Pennsylvania. It's also looks like there's showers and thunderstorms in Virginia. And then you can see, look at that. That's quite impressive. And then you have over here the snow. So into West Virginia, the snow on the backside. You can see where the cold air is for us. Let's go take a look at lightning, because I have a feeling there's some thunderstorms here, or a lot of thunderstorms. We're going to find out in a moment. So we're going to take a look at the lightning here and see what we have going on here, if there's any lightning with these storms. And there are lightning strikes in a whole bunch off North Carolina, but further north, not a whole lot. But we've got to keep an eye on this severe weather thing. So we're going to go take a look at the SPC Storm Prediction Center and see if they've put us in a hazard for today. And wow, that's quite impressive. So you see the map here. Actually, there's a tornado watch in effect for North Carolina, South Carolina, which is absolutely insane. So this is today's convective outlook, and they've now put eastern North Carolina and parts of South Carolina, the northeastern part, in an enhanced risk. Around that is a slight risk. Marginal risk goes into New Jersey. So there is a risk of severe weather tonight because of this very strong cold front that's going to be moving through across the area. Looking at the satellite, you can see here is that low pressure system clearly marked. You can clearly see it with the cold front there, clearly marked coming through, and you can see you got this nice clear air over here that they're enjoying, and they're going to have a nice clear chilly day after dealing with some snow in the Midwest, in the upper Midwest. But for us, we're going to be dealing with this LLJ tonight into the early part of tomorrow, and it's quite impressive to say the least. Quite impressive. So we're going to look at some of the observations around the area right now. And again, we have a high wind warning in effect until 10 a.m. tomorrow. We're going to look at some of the current conditions. Farmingdale, 56, a little light rain out there. Had a little light rain and drizzle. South wind at 21. So we've had some winds already gusting up. Looks like they had some gusts up to 35 this afternoon. So it's already kind of windy out there. It's humid. Temperatures of dew points are rising to the low 50s. At 56 at Farmingdale. And if we go at 57 at Central Park, well, we'll look at the observation map instead. Instead of looking at that, we'll look at this. So these are the observation maps here, and you can see temperatures in the 50s, mid-50s across Long Island, very warm, quite above normal, 20 degrees above normal, and dew points are in the low 50s already. You can see some of those wind gusts there, 32 at Brookhaven Airport, 33 at Islip. If you look out over the waters, you have 57, 53, 57, even offshore. It just shows you how warm the water is. Let's see if we can get some of these sea reports, because I'm curious about the seas and see what the seas are here. Here, the wave heights, which I don't see on these for whatever reason they're missing. You can see the water temperature at this buoy, 53 degrees off the south shore, off the South Fork. It's quite warm. I don't see any C's here, which is interesting. I don't know why they don't have the C's listed here. Maybe this one has the C's. Yeah, this one has C's. 6.9 feet. Now, if we go over to New Jersey, temperatures also in the mid 50s. Actually, it's even warmer there, near 60 in Lakehurst. So Toms River is nearing 60 degrees. Dew points in the upper 50s, so it's even warmer there. Quite warm in southern New Jersey, with temperatures in the low 60s in some areas there. Dew points in the upper 50s. So at Upper Deerfield. So this is the kind of air mass we're dealing with. Unseasonably tropical air coming into our area. So we're going to look at the models, and we are going to again focus on the short range through the weekend in this update, because we got this storm to deal with. But you can see here's the low that's formed along this front. That's going to enhance it, and that rides up the Appalachians. We're in the warm sector. We deal with the heavy rain, and then we get into the colder air by the weekend. So let's take a closer look into the northeast view here, and see what we have coming our way. So this is the GFS, and it is just going to pour, and you can see how tight those isobars are. Look at that. I mean, how often do you ever see red, a solid area of red across the entire area? Well, that's what we're going to be dealing with. Looks like around 5 to 7 in the morning tomorrow with that cold front coming through. That's going to be the squall line that's going to come through, and then it moves off. But we're still going to be dealing with the rain. It's going to linger probably until like 2 o'clock probably. This front's moving a little slower, which means we're going to be in the wind and the rain more. And if you look at the total rainfall accumulations again, you'll see probably over 2 inches of rain falling for much of the Jersey Shore and Long Island. So that's quite a bit of rain. Most of the snow is already gone on Long Island. Not much remains, but upstate where there's more snow, there could be some more flooding up there. Though I wouldn't be surprised if there's flooding here too from this rain as well. The other issue, of course, is the winds. We've already looked at this on the models, but we'll look at it again. This is very disturbing, seeing these winds, such strong winds coming onto Long Island. It's really going to get bad after like 11 o'clock. Right through probably 6 a.m. is going to be the worst of it until that front moves through. We're going to be dealing with, especially the South Fork, sustained winds of 40 knots or better on the South Fork, which is and the gusts are going to be well over that. So it's going to be like a tropical storm. Then it moves away, but in its wake, there's going to be probably a lot of power outages and stuff, and it's not going to be good. We're going to look at some of the short-range models now. Let's look at the HRRR model, and we're going to go to the precipitation here. So this is the HRRR. It's only out to 10 hours. So let me go to the 22Z HRRR so you can see this is a higher resolution model. Again, that rain is going to start probably around, like I said, after 10, 11 o'clock. It's going to get heavy in New Jersey first, then Long Island. We got this first band of tropical moisture coming in, and then the actual front, which is going to be accompanied by this squall line. And it looks like the HRRR is really enhancing the squall line as it moves further east, probably as it taps into some of that warmer water offshore. And that could be quite a squall line for eastern Suffolk County right there, right around 7 a.m., moving through Riverhead there and moving offshore. And this squall line could be accompanied by some really high winds. And then the rain sort of tapers off later on. But man, this is going to be impressive. And again, if we look at the winds, this is the HRRR. For some reason, it doesn't want to put the winds over the land. I don't know why. This is an issue with the HRRR. It's not. But again, if you look at the 850 levels, I mean, look at this strong wind here aloft that these showers and thunderstorms could tap into. So when one of these showers and thunderstorms come through, that's when you can get some really strong wind gusts up to 70 miles an hour, maybe even more, with these showers and thunderstorms. And some of them could be severe, as we know. Looking at the dew point, again, you will see this is the humidity that's going to be coming up into our area. You can see dew points well into the 50s, touching 60 degrees by this morning. And then later on the day, Christmas, we will get out of this. But it's going to be quite warm out as well. So let's look at the temperatures, and you will see those temperatures rising quite high. And again, this is the HRRR, but I think it's pretty accurate. Temperatures rising into the 60s, I think, for a lot of us, which is again quite unusual. I don't know what the record is for tomorrow, but maybe it'll be broken because it's going to be very warm. It's going to be 60 degrees at 6 a.m. in the morning when it should be 30 degrees or 25. That's over 30 degrees above normal. So that's quite an anomaly to see at this time of the year. We'll look at some of the other models. Let's look at the NAM 3-kilometer model here. And we'll go ahead and we'll look at the precipitation. Actually, we'll look at radar 10M winds, so you can use this here. And again, you see here that the heavier rain is going to start again later on, and then there's this line that develops. It looks like the NAM also agrees that this line is actually going to be worse over Suffolk County as it taps into some of that ocean warmth there, and it's going to get enhanced. So Suffolk County might wind up getting hit harder by this line, but that is quite an impressive squall line that's going to move through Suffolk County around 7 a.m. Quite an impressive squall line right there, and then it moves on out later on. But man, that is really impressive, to say the least. And if we look at the total accumulated precipitation here from everything, this is the NAM again on the higher resolution. You'll see close to 2 inches is a good bet, especially I think a little more in Suffolk County maybe. Look at the wind as well. And again, we are looking at the higher resolution NAM here. This is the 18Z higher resolution NAM. And you can see some of the winds that we're going to be dealing with, especially on the South Shore. Some of these winds are going to be really up there. We'll go to the 12 kilometers, so you get an idea of the kind of wind that we're going to be dealing with here. And again, the worst of it's going to be on the South Shore and the eastern Suffolk County. I think that's where you're going to have the biggest power outage impacts. That's quite a bit of wind right there they're going to be getting, and then it moves offshore. But you can clearly see how clear that front is. It's incredible. It really is incredible how clear it is. And it will be a very sharp frontal passage when it moves through. I think that's it for the models. That's all I want to go through. As far as we pretty much know what we're going to get here at this point. It's more of just a wait and see how these squall lines materialize. We'll go to the NAM 3-kilometer. We'll just look at the sky and see when we can clear this out of here. So tomorrow, I don't think we see the sun, but Saturday, hopefully we do see the sun, and we have some mostly sunny skies, especially by a little later in the afternoon, though. The NAM seems to want to pop up some more cloudiness over us. GFS, this is the GFS here. Look at the GFS, also wants to kind of pop up some cloudiness, but I think we'll hopefully see some good amount of sun on Saturday, but though it will be very cold. If we look at the temperatures, you will see it will get much colder Saturday. But tomorrow, it starts off warm. You can see that tongue of warm air again moving through in the morning, and then temperatures drop through the afternoon first through the 50s, then to the 40s by later in the afternoon. By the evening, we should be in the 30s, and by Saturday morning, we should be in the 20s, and only rising up to around the 32-degree mark for Saturday. And Sunday may be a little warmer with temperatures in the mid-30s. But it's going to be quite, like I said, look at that. That's quite impressive there. A lot of warm air coming up. That's really impressive to see. The other thing that I want to look at here that we've already looked at before is the FGen, but I'll look at it again just to show you. This is where the precipitation, you can see how it gets enhanced as it moves east. So this seems to be a thing here where it just gets worse as it moves east. You can see, look at that. You can see how it kind of just explodes over Long Island there as it taps into that moisture. So I think Long Island will get hit harder by the storms than New Jersey. The further east you go, the worse it's going to get as this thing just draws in more and more moisture. The other thing, we'll go to Vent 2 Sky and we'll look at some of the output from this as far as the thunderstorm threat goes. Again, we will look at this for tomorrow here. We'll look at Cape again, and we'll look at all that other stuff and see if we have any elevated Cape over our area or not. Does not look like it. I think it's more of you could clearly see there's the front. It's more of a lifted index thing where that lifted index is going to be up there, and that's going to help produce some such thunderstorms. And again, some of these storms could bring the wind down to the surface. So if we look at the wind again, this uses the HRRR output, by the way. This is from the HRRR. These are the wind gusts that the HRRR has for 5 in the morning. You can see Wind gusts up to 65 miles an hour, 56 miles an hour. If we go to, let me just back it up a little bit to 3 here, because we're going to already be dealing with this again after midnight. You can see, look at these wind gusts from the south, southeast, quite strong. And this again, you can see clearly see where the front is. There it is. Once the front moves through, this LLJ will indeed die down. But man, it's going to be quite intense when it moves through. So let's go take a look at the windy.com as well, which is the European model. So again, we can take a closer look at these winds, though I think you can see that we've got this storm in progress or getting ready. So it's more of a just a watch thing, as I'll update you through the night as long as I can. Hopefully I don't lose power, but you know, all right. So here's 1 a.m. You can see this is the European. And look at these wind gusts again. This is the Euro model. 67 miles an hour wind gusts at Toms River, 64 at Islip, 59 at Riverhead, 65 in New York. And then we go to 7 a.m. It gets even worse. As the line moves east, it gains even more energy. And like I said, this LLJ, it could bring wind gusts over 70 miles an hour, has over 70 miles an hour at Islip. And we go to 10 a.m. and then it finally moves offshore. Montauk nearly 69 mile an hour wind gust, and then you can see how much quieter it is behind the front with the winds once this front moves through. But we're going to be dealing with some really I would say a good 10 hours of some really rough wind speeds across the area. Again, with these high winds, it's going to get worse. And we look at the European, you can see it starts getting worse a little after 11. And you can see it's already picking up in New Jersey with that wind. And this thing is just going to gain. You can clearly see this LLJ that's just coming up. And the other thing is it's going to produce some waves, too. So these are the swells again. 4 a.m. off the South Shore. There's going to be some flooding. I think there's going to be some significant flooding on the South Shore. 14-foot waves off the South Shore is going to cause some inundation of some barrier islands. I think there's going to be a lot of flooding in places like Long Beach, Fire Island, anywhere along the South Shore that's low-lying, even along the Bay areas like South America Road. This is going to be a significant event with the flooding, I think. These waves are quite impressive. And then you got to add the rain on top of that. So that's what's also going to cause this. This is quite, like I said, quite an impressive storm. The most impressive storm since Isaias, this is on Christmas of all days. This is 2020, folks. This is what we deal with in 2020, and it's awful. Just for sake, we'll look at some of the other models here, like the GFS with the wind. We'll go to noon. We'll go to midnight. This is the GFS. I want wind gusts. We'll go to wind gusts here. So this is the GFS wind gusts. Look at this around midnight. Wind gusts already up to 62 miles an hour at Islip, 67 at Toms River. GFS a little faster with the front. You can see, though, those winds are really going to be gusting up there quite a bit. 61, and look at that. As it moves east, it's going to gain more energy. 71 mile an hour wind gusts at River at 72 in Montauk. So these are the kind of winds that we're going to be dealing with. And like I said, I would think that we could see 100,000 people on Long Island lose power at some point during this storm. I hope PSCG Long Island is ready. You better be ready. But this is what we're going to be dealing with on Christmas. It's mostly Christmas Day. Once we go to midnight, it's Christmas Day. So the worst is going to be on Christmas Day. So, yes, a tropical storm on Christmas. That's what it's going to be like, folks. Only in 2020. This year has sucked unbelievably. So I'll keep you posted on the storm, and just be safe out there. It's going to be a rough night.